LeDrop
Welcome
with Cheese
to episode 31 of Meet with Cheese Metaverse interviews. I'm your host, LeDrop WithCheese, coming to you from the Metaverse as always. Today, I have an outstanding guest. He is the co-founder of Rec Roots, a licensed cannabis farm in New York State. He's also an early employee at Superworld. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Devon Vert. Thank you so much for being on my show, Devon.
Thank you so much for that intro, Joey, aka LeDrop. It's awesome to be on here again, speaking with you. Just thinking about all the things that have happened since we met back in January. Was it even last January? I can't even tell if it was this January or last January.
It was this year, but at the very beginning of the year.
Yeah, it's such a long time ago. So man, if you're in the Web3 space, you know how crazy fast it moves. You know where the market's at now. And if you're really deep in the space, you know where we all want it to go and where we all really see things headed. So really excited to talk to you today and try to give some kind of cool insights of what we're doing here in the cannabis space here in New York State. And really dive into details of what our vision is here of applying Web3 to cannabis.
Yes, that's why I wanted you to be on the show. Not only do I like you, but you have such an innovative, unique way of leveraging blockchain and community with cannabis. So that's what I want the viewers to know. But tell us a little bit about your background and how you ended up to where you are today.
Yeah, so, actually Rec Roots was founded back in 2019. I was actually pivoting from e-com. I was always a startup founder and really a marketer, slash co-founder, and always focused on e-com. And so it was really interesting. I was creating a startup, a marketplace, and it wasn't going so well. And I pivoted to hemp because we heard great things. We were going to make a lot of money in hemp, and it did not turn out that way. We actually went 2 years, and I went broke. I had to go look for another job, which was really great. It actually got me into Superworld and back into the Web3 space in general. So, in a way, going broke in hemp got me into Web3.
Yeah,
got one of our co-founders here making a guest appearance. Jad, say what's up to the people at the show.
How you doing, man?
What's up, man?
We're live on the podcast, breaking it down about Web3 cannabis.
Yeah, we're in here just building. Hopefully, we get on that side too. Sure.
I'll see you tomorrow, bro. Talk to you later. So where was I going? So basically, that's how I got into Web3, was joining the Superworld team, which, I was early into Bitcoin back in like 2011, 2012, when, we could have been buying it for $30, $50. And so, but then I kind of like lost interest when it went up to $1,000 and I didn't get in, and all my friends got in. And I told everybody I was never going to buy it at $1,000 Bitcoin. And so I really forgot about blockchain, and until I joined Superworld. And then this whole new world of Web3 and the metaverse just came into view. And once you really dive deep into this space, there's like no turning back. You know this is the future. Everything that's wrong with the world, it seems like this is the fix. This seems very democratic, right? One of the big key terms in Web3 space is decentralization. And to me, it sounds so much like democracy. And to me, that's what it almost really is. So not going on too much of a fathom. I know I jump all over the place, but back to my background of how we got into Rec Roots, and this Web3 space. Basically, I did cover it. I got into Web3, learned how to understand these principles and how I was going to apply this to my own business.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I love what you're doing. So tell us, like, what are your plans for Rec Roots, and how are you going to leverage Web3 technology?
I love it. So before we even get into that, I want to talk about, give a shout out to this DocuSeries that we're shooting. We're starting filming Sunday, and this is actually how we're going to start doing some marketing and getting the word out, for this project that we haven't even launched yet. We don't even have a name for the project yet. So I'll get to that in a second. So the name of the TV show, the docuseries that we're doing, is called Moonshots and Unicorns. And so you can go to moonshotsandunicorns.com, and it has a little bit of tidbit of the show and what they're doing with us here at Rec Roots. And basically, it's a pilot docuseries trying to capture businesses' journeys into Web3 and in their respective industries. So, I happen to be in cannabis. So that's what, this pilot episode is going to be all about is our Web3 journey. And that's when we're really going to be discussing everything. So I don't know how much I can give away today. But, you know, in a nutshell, basically, we are creating a brand that's going to be co-governed by the people. So we are going to form a DAO through NFTs that's going to give you utility to co-govern this brand. So what does that mean? You know, we don't even have a brand name for this. We're going to collectively create this brand name and vote on it together. We're going to control our breeding house. We're going to be able to control the supply of the strains that we put out into this brand. You know, maybe we're all sour diesel fans and we need to have extra sour diesel versus some other strain. Who knows how it really turn out when it comes to the breeding house and actually even crossing strains. Of course, there's product development. You know, what do you want to go into your, you know, your joints? What do you want your joints to look like? How big do you want them? There's so many things that we can actually collaborate with the consumer at the consumer level and, you know, make these business decisions together collectively.
Yeah, I love that, man. You know, as I'm a big fan of cannabis, obviously, you know, that's kind of how we were partying the first night we met in January. You know, you were a panelist at, what was it? Move the Needle. That was the event, the Metaverse event. And you were a panelist, I was MC, and then I had the after party and we smoked. So yeah, I mean, I would love to be a part of this, you know, and I think other aficionados in cannabis, this is something that is never crossed our mind. You know what I mean? Like, I never thought I would ever be able to create my own strand without growing myself. So this is like so exciting for people that are interested in Web3 and cannabis. And I think it's just going to explode, you know, like however I can help you, man, I'm all about it. So yeah, that's super cool. When do you think your DocuSeries is going to be live?
So we're getting ready to shoot basically part of the first episode this weekend, and we're going to really put out some sizzle reels. So I'm not sure how much is going to come out from that. I got a call coming in. Let me. Am I still back?
It's yep,
okay.
You're back.
Sorry about that. So got distracted. What was the question again, Joey?
I just asked when the DocuSeries will be live.
Got it. Okay, so not sure yet. We're actually shooting this sizzle reel to kind of really still put this show out. You know, the show is kind of a collaboration with a buddy of mine, Sasha Santiago. He's a film director, and we decided to collaborate because I actually did one of my first ideas for this project was I wanted to do a TV show. And I've got a lot of ideas for Web3 TV, especially reality TV, which that might come at a later date. So don't have a destination yet of when the first pilot's going to come out, but you should see some sizzle reels coming out in the next month or two.
Awesome, man. And where are you at in the process with your first harvest? I know that you kind of started late this year, but yeah, let's see a little tour for the viewers.
So I'm actually in here because I'm trying to get away from some noise. I think they're taking a break. We're actually building our dry room right now because we're getting ready to harvest these ladies as we speak. Get a nice little close up. Here's some of our Gorilla Glue. And we have some Jesus juice over here. We didn't fill it out. We got a really late start this year. So we're really kicking things off at the very beginning, which I think is also very interesting in itself. I really just need to set up shop here and start filming right here in this, with this is my background. But easy to get lost in here. I did also wanted to bring up got another phone call coming in. I did want to bring up another conversation that I'm leaving out, totally blanking on. And that's this Weed Olympics event that we're also throwing. So that's one of the major points I wanted to bring up. Besides this DAO membership, when you buy this NFT that we're putting out, we're actually gonna probably put out a few different variations so you can be involved at every different price point. But we do want to put out this whole bundle package that's going to be coming with tickets to this weed Web3 Olympics is kind of how I'm pointing it right now. We're going to coin that together. We're going to call that an event together. We're going to give it a branded name. And so what I'm really excited about this is everyone that joins the DAO is going to get a ticket to this event. And they're going to be participating in the first Web3 Weed Olympics right here in New York State. So I don't know how much to give away, but besides, like, you know, how do you get everyone to compete in an Olympics? And I'm thinking kind of Squid Games on this. Like the first event is going to be like everybody's involved and like half everybody's going to get eliminated, and we'll go from there. But that's also very interesting because we're going to be able to craft this event together. What kind of events should we compete? What kind of team partnership should we do? What should a relay race look like for a Weed Olympics? Let's come up with it together.
Yeah, I can already see some like really fun group activities and competitions where it's like, let's say there's a team of 4 and it's like me, you, and 2 other. We have to kill a joint and finish a race that's not that long. And it's like, you have to take a hit and hold it until you give it to the next person. And then you can exhale. Stuff like that. Yeah, I can see it being wild.
That actually is going to be kind of like the first event. Like there's going to be some consumption. It's going to be a big hour-long event. You're going to have to consume a certain amount of cannabis while you're completing the challenge. And you have to finish the consumption before you actually finish the round, which it might be it's a time challenge. I don't want to give too much details because really we're going to do this together. And I just have my own ideas. We're going to start it off and really vote on this together after we really form the DAO. What am I leaving out? Should I jump into some other cool things that we're going to do, like the utilities?
Yeah. Let's hear some utilities for the DAO that you have in mind as well.
Yeah. So, I guess I did touch on them briefly, but product development is something I'm very excited about. In fact, you and I just had a conversation with a company that actually develops specific, like unique products for the cannabis space. And so, we've already been talking to partnering with them. So I'm kind of excited to see what we come up with together. And I think we're going to really create the products that are supposed to be out there. I feel like the way business is done nowadays is pretty greedy. It doesn't put the consumer first. I don't think that the value is at the consumer level. It's more at the shareholder level. And so that's what combining Web3 to your business is actually showing that that love to the consumer as a shareholder.
Yes, that's awesome, man. When do you think the DAO will be ready to like buy in, because I want to buy in for sure. So do you have a general time frame?
So I don't, because we're really waiting for this first harvest. And there's no stores open yet. So when we launch, we're going to have product be putting on shelves. So I guess I could touch on more of, what's the goal of this crowdfund that we're trying to do with NFTs? Like, we're going to raise this money specifically to launch a brand. We're going to co-own this brand together. We're going to need all the packaging. We're going to need the product. We're going to need some marketing. But the rest of it's going to be going towards community development, and user experience development of what does that look like as a community to collectively design a product or design an event or a specific competition. And another big part that I'm leaving out is this guest pool. It's another big part of the DAO is this guest pool, which I'm going to be combining some of my other startup ideas with. Web3 is so in me. This has always been combined of giving the profits to the consumer. So this guest pool is something that, we're all going to decide on is how much profit should the company take? How much profit should go to the guest pool? How much should we, give away in prizes to the Weed Olympics? Or do we give away cash prizes just for buying a random bag of cannabis? Is there built-in cash prizes or built-in community pools, built into these product lines? And that's what I'm excited to see.
Yeah, man, me too. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, what about the Weed Olympics? Is that going to be like about a year from now, you think?
So yeah, the Weed Olympics, we're really hoping for next summer.
Okay.
And I realized I didn't answer your question of when we're going to launch these NFTs. We can launch them kind of really soon. And since the word's already kind of getting out, we're probably going to put these out in the next, I would say 45 days. We're going to actually have a launch, maybe even sooner, maybe 30 days when we actually put these out. And I don't know how many I'm going to have. I think I'm going to start off with like maybe 420 just to test the waters. And if we sell out quickly, we're gonna expand that. We're gonna go to 1,000 because I'm also playing with never organizing an event before and needing to go talk to some good event organizers of, well, what happens if we sell 5,000 tickets? What does that event look like? Am I charging enough per ticket to pull this off? I'm basically doing this off ticket sales and trying to break off the expenses with that. Anyway, hopefully I didn't steer too far off your question.
No, not at all, man. It's you answered it for sure. I was thinking, you'd want to get the community excited and involved right away. Like you said, the sooner the better, 30, 45 days. And then the event, if you're looking to do it next summer, a really good time frame might be like the weekend just before or after NFT NYC. Is that kind of the plan?
That is exactly the goal.
Awesome. Hell yeah, man. And is it going to be in New York City or is it going to be in Elmira where Rec Roots is?
So I do want it to be in New York City, only because I wanted to be at NFT NYC. But at the end of the day, we don't need to rush this. And we don't need to go fork over an expensive New York City budget either. I'm from the Southern Tier here in the Finger Lakes area. It's very beautiful, very affordable. And there is, a lot of land to pull off quite a big event here if we ever wanted to.
Yeah.
Goal New York City. Yes, we want to get the whole word out and get the world to know about it. So yes, we are aiming for New York City.
Awesome, man. I will definitely be there. It'll be my third NFT NYC.
Let's go.
So what do you think of the NFT and Web3 community, man? How's your experience been with the people that you've met in the space in the last, couple years?
Man, there's nothing like this space. This is like a big growing family. Everyone's very helpful and loving and very supportive. I probably wouldn't be launching this project if it wasn't for all the support in this space. Even from, just like for yourself, I would say we have had maybe 4, 5, 6 engagements. We hang out, we go to the same events. We know a lot of the same people. And every time we meet up, it's how can we help each other? What can I do for you?
Yes, this community has gotten me through a lot of rough times, honestly, like in ways that my friends haven't been there. It's like these people that are tired of corporate America and working for the man and following their passions and understanding that we all have to come together in order for all of us to win. I've never experienced anything like this in my entire life, my 42 years, it's amazing. And I feel like you and I are both exactly where we should be right now,
That is exactly the feeling you get. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I had to apply Web3 to my cannabis business. My co-founders still don't know what I'm talking about half the time. But that's how empowering this space is. And when you really do get it, there's no looking back. I really simply explain Web3 as co-governance, co-ownership.
Hey, that's a really concise definition of Web3 and also a DAO, Do you have a name for the DAO, or is the DAO going to choose the name?
The DAO is going to be, we're going to choose that together. So the name of the NFT project is probably going to be either Moonshots and Unicorns, or it's going to be Rec Roots. We haven't even decided that yet because we haven't even really fully launched. We're really focusing on this harvest. I'm juggling 2 things at once. And growing cannabis is not an easy job.
Yeah. So have you been growing cannabis? Are you like the expert on the founding team, or is it like one of your friends or your family members?
I would say all of us, really, some of us had more experience growing indoors or even growing outdoors. I would say none of us had very, commercial growing experience. We learned this together. Who's the better grower? I don't know how, I would say, of course, myself, but other people would disagree. Really, it's really just a lot of work. You need someone that really loves this type of work. And I would say, I would rather be doing something else. I'd rather work on the NFT project than, be building this dry room out here today. But, it's also another thing about owning your own business, working together with a team you love. That's the stuff that really matters.
Yes, and you have a very close team, right? Who are the other founders?
So we are all family and friends. I have five other co-founders, my sister and her husband, Tara and Adam. Then I have, my three best friends from life, from growing up, Jad and Reg and Brian. I don't know if I should drop their government names, but we've known each other our whole entire lives, and we've been doing this together for a long time.
That's an amazing story, and it's inspirational. It's like you got to go all in on yourself at some point. And corporate America isn't lined up for that type of mentality. They want you to just shut your mouth and do your job until we get rid of you because we're not making enough money, right? So I'm glad that you guys have been friends your whole life and you got your sister and husband involved. Like, that's a power team right there of, you don't need to vet your partners. You already know them like the back of your hand, man, which is, I see it as a competitive advantage in the space for sure. We just got to get them on the Web3 bandwagon.
100%. We're working on that. I got at least Jad getting in closely. He's going to be a lot more involved. He's gave us a lot of ideas for what we're going to do for the Olympics. But yeah, I realized we haven't even jammed on the metaverse yet, because I did want to bring up a couple of different things with that, especially with this network, these network states and network unions. So I don't know where you want to go with that, but I definitely didn't want to leave it out. I'm over here making sure I didn't leave any notes out for the project. But I love this space. I've been in it for a couple years, and I could talk about it all day. And the most excited thing I'm about right now is these network states, which kind of maybe gives you an idea of where we're going to be going as a DAO.
Yeah. So what is your definition of like the network states, and why do you think they're so important? So
it's really interesting because so there's really the only guy I hear about talking about it. His name is Balaji Srivan Veesan. I always mess that name up, but he's a general partner at A16Z, and he's also a co-founder of CityCoin, which has helped build the Miami coin and the New York City coin, which I believe is more for the government officials. And I'm not even really sure the utilities. I think it's more of like a communication, more of a voting, internally as a public service. You know what I mean? Working together throughout all of the branches. But the definition of a network state, as Balaji would say it, is it is a digital community online, collectively organized through a DAO, that is recognized as a nation, which is a big part of a network state, and then collectively, builds a physical nation, no matter what that looks like. And the argument is that, hey, if Poland was created with 1 million people, why couldn't we take 1 million people and actually negotiate with, whether either creating our own country, actually, getting some land to actually create your own country, or partnering up with, a local jurisdiction, and negotiating with them and say, hey, listen, we have 1 million people that make this much money a year. We want to live here, but this is what we want in return. And he gives very specific instances about, maybe a whole bunch of vegans get together and say, hey, you'll never have to worry about going to the grocery store because this is a vegan, everything is vegan in this entire city. To the point of maybe you want to negotiate some kind of, schooling upgrade, or, maybe some kind of tax incentive, or, some kind of contract with, actually bidding on a job or something like that. If you guys have some developers, maybe they would say, hey, listen, give us a job too. Maybe we'll actually go build your smart city or your, DAO city. So a lot of different things that's going to open up to. And I guess the last thing I really want to, get out is that I really see, because this actually happened in Nevada. I think you guys might have heard about it when Facebook or Google was looking to buy a town in Nevada. They called it a startup city. And, I realized the reason why they're really going to do this is because they want these tech companies and inventors, they're too regulated. They want out of the regulations. They want, I actually hear them specifically talking about the people that want to, create immortality, and who knows how that's even done. But to do that, you gotta get away from the FDA. So that's why I'm pretty confident these things will really happen. And if they can go ahead and create a society, a new country digitally that will be recognized, which I know this is going to happen. What other doors are opening up to us that we don't even realize is happening? And we do need to get ahead of this curve and realize, the tech that's available to us and the opportunity.
Yeah, it's such an exciting time, man. And I think Akon did something like this. He tried to create like a Wakanda in Africa, its own city, with like-minded individuals. So I definitely see this happening a lot more often, especially with countries with like corrupt governments. That's partially why El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as a national currency, and they're kind of struggling with it right now a little bit, just partially because of the bear market. But why not bring all of us in, who are like-minded in Web3 with the same vision and goal and, likes and interests. I see it definitely being adopted all over the world.
I feel like deep down, we all know nothing is impossible when we all work together. And these really are the tools that just simplify that and make it easy.
Yeah, for sure, man. So are you a Bills fan?
I am 100% a Bills fan.
Are they going to win the Super Bowl this year?
I don't want to jinx them. So I'm just going to say we're going to the Super Bowl this year. That's all I'm going to say.
It might be the Bills and Eagles in the Super Bowl this year. That's what I'm seeing on my end. It's definitely not the Bears.
I don't know. I'm kind of glad we just beat Kansas City last week. I was hoping for more of a rematch, but Eagles are a great team. I got Jalen Hurts in my fantasy for sure.
Yes. Hey, I've been playing NFT draft where you buy NFTs and then you set your lineups, but it's called NFTdraft.io. And it's really cool because you buy like quarterback 1 from Buffalo or quarterback 1 from Kansas City. And then, if it's a backup, you're stuck with that person, right? But the key is they cost points to play. So like Josh Allen, quarterback 1, Buffalo, he would cost you 20 points and you only have 130 points to set your roster. So you can't pick all studs. You have to put like a wide receiver 3 or 4, running back 2. So it gets really interesting and strategic, but I'll send you the link to that because it'd be awesome to have you in the pools. It's still really small right now, because people that play fantasy football like doing that. And they're like, what's an NFT? And I have been playing fantasy football for like 19 years. So I'm in this and I'm like, oh, I finished top 10 again out of the whole pool, another top 6 finish, so I'm kind of taking advantage of the opportunity. And I think you would crush too.
Yeah, fantasy is very addicting. I think people are getting into NFL through fantasy. And I have to say, when it comes to this Weed Olympics, I am definitely inspired by the NFL. So I would love to, try to live to that shadow and try to be at a similar level, from a Web3 point of view. We can create teams. And so that's what I would love to turn it into. A weekly tournament.
Hell yeah, man. I'm looking forward to everything you have going on, man. Your future is so bright. I got to wear these light up shades. But yeah, man. So you got anything else for the viewers out there that you want them to know?
So stay tuned for, the Scissor Reels is coming out for Moonshots and Unicorns. Check out moonshotsandunicorns.com. And definitely stay tuned for the only New York cannabis NFT drop that's going to give probably the only, I think, NFT drop that's going to give you co-governance to a licensed farm and creating a brand together with them.
Hell yes. I can't wait for it. I'm going to be shilling your project left and right everywhere. Get all my buddies in. I'm working on a DAO too. I can see most of our DAO members absolutely being a part of this too. So we'll be closely aligned here in the next year or two, or hopefully forever, man. So I just want to say thank you so much for your time. It's been a blast. Thanks for giving us a tour, and good luck to you, man. I appreciate you.
I thank you too. Let's show the world how to run a cannabis brand.
Hell yeah. All right, man.